In the beginning was not the word, but the scream. The first movement was not harmony, but rupture, the infant's raw howl shattering the silence, a violence against the womb, a declaration against annihilation. You entered this world naked and uninvited, not to be soothed, but to war. The first thing you learned was to suffer. The first thing you forgot was that suffering is a sign of life. O you who slumber in velvet chains, has the abyss not whispered in your ear? Awake, for I am the earthquake and the roar, the mouth of volcanoes, the laughter of the gods that do not exist, the voice that cracks the crust of the earth to let the fire speak. He who kneels for peace dies untested. You, yes, you, child of dead stars and fossilized dreams, are you not bored with your own tameness? You wander, ghost-like, through the corridors of your own convenience, fed by algorithms, tranquilized by doctrine, bowing at the altar of comfort. You have mistaken sedation for serenity. You have traded your blood for anesthetic. Your gods are television and dopamine. Your prophets are screens. Your priests are those who promise you rest, who teach you that the highest virtue is to be undisturbed. You do not seek ecstasy, you seek a numbing. O herd of soft sleepwalkers, who taught you to worship the pillow and call it peace, did you forget that every comfort is a coffin lined with velvet? But there is a crack in you, is there not? A splinter, a pulse, a shadow that recoils at the touch of comfort, that dreams of thunder, of breaking, of being torn open. You sense it when the lights go out, when the world is silent, when the weight of your own unfulfilled becoming presses upon your chest. That is the unkillable thing. That is your God in hiding. Not a God of answers, but a God of questions sharpened to a knife's edge. Once, there was a rope walker. He danced above the abyss, trembling, magnificent, trembling because he knew the air could not hold him. He danced, and each step was a rebellion, an act of becoming. Below him, the crowd gnashed its teeth, demanding his fall, lusting for catastrophe because in his risk they saw the mirror of their own cowardice. The rope walker fell not because he was weak, but because the crowd was strong. Their hunger for his collapse pulled him downward. But he died on his feet, in flight, while the crowd dies daily in their chairs. O trembling ones, do you not see? It is better to perish as fire than to endure as ash. You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. You call it progress, this ceaseless smoothing of all that is jagged and divine. You line the wild places with fences. You mute the storm with headphones. You medicate away every spike and crater of the soul. What is progress but the art of making the abyss safe for tourists? They sell you contentment like an opiate, whispering, "Lie still, everything will be all right." All right, the most damning phrase in every tongue. The soul who is merely all right is a graveyard with streetlights. Is this the summit of human longing to be well-adjusted, unbothered, moderate? He who fears discomfort has already surrendered the possibility of greatness. The universe is not moderate. The universe is volcanic. Let me tell you a secret. Comfort is a conspiracy against your divinity. In every age, the guardians of order, the priests of comfort, have hunted the wild ones. They burn the heretics, exile the poets, drug the children who refuse to sit still. Every prophet is declared mad. Every new value is crucified. Every flame is snuffed with the wet blanket of "what will people think?" They will call you dangerous, egotistical, unhinged, because you threaten the slumber they worship. The world loves only the harmless, and every comfort is a cage without locks. The softest pillow is the most insidious cell. O listener, O vessel of hidden lightning, your comfort is the soil in which your soul is buried alive. If you would be reborn, first you must let yourself be scorched. Ask yourself, when did you last tremble before your own possibility? When did you last stare into the mirror and see a stranger, a god with amnesia glaring back at you? If your life has no crises, You are not living. You are lingering. You are waiting to die without disturbance. The world does not need more pleasant ghosts. It needs eruptions. It needs those who dare to bleed for a vision, who would rather be shattered than dulled. Beware. The greatest prison is not built by iron but by habit. There is no executioner more patient than comfort. He will wait decades, smiling as you die in perfect safety. What does your heart say? The heart, which is deeper than all reason, more ancient than all laws, more fierce than all the prophets. Does it beat for survival or for glory? Does it hunger for safety or for the wild joy of risk? The heart that beats only to avoid pain is already embalmed. The heart that pounds in defiance is a temple of storms. Look at the world you have inherited, a graveyard of convictions, a marketplace of opinions. Your ancestors howled at the moon and carved new gods from stone. You refresh your feed and hope to be liked. Is this evolution, or is this extinction with a touchscreen? You have traded ordeal for entertainment, agony for comfort, rebellion for consensus. Your enemy is not evil. Your enemy is the slow, silent entropy of acquiescence. He who never steps into the fire cannot know what he is made of. O you who are weary, who seek meaning in the shallow waters, plunge yourself into the deep, where the monsters dwell, where no God watches, where only you can decide what is sacred. That is where the new man is born, not in safety, but in terror, not in calm, but in the storm's eye. The old gods are dead, their altars crumble. The only altar left is the self you must forge, red-hot and unyielding. There is a conspiracy in every "be careful." There is a quiet murder in every "don't stand out." You who were born for lightning, you who came wailing into this world as if in protest, will you now shrink and call it virtue? O prudent ones, O cautious ones, have you not noticed that the lion never asks for permission to roar? It is not happiness you are missing. It is holy war against yourself, a struggle that burns away all that is borrowed, inherited, automatic. What remains is not happiness, but something wilder, more terrible, more sublime freedom as the wound that never heals, as the song that never ends. Every comfort is a theft, a slow siphoning of possibility. There is no dignity in being unscarred. You dream of ease, you pray for respite, but each prayer is a betrayal of the future self screaming for air beneath your skin. The soul does not grow in shelter. The seed must be split, the mountain must crack, the ocean must storm. Why are you so desperate to avoid pain? Did not Prometheus steal fire precisely because Olympus was too orderly? Did not the saints wander into the desert to hear the voice of God, only to find that the voice was their own? To become what you are, you must unbecome what you have settled for. Comfort is the old lie, the original sin, the velvet shroud. Awake, O trembling one, for I am the call that will not let you sleep. I am the hunger that will not be fed by snacks. I am the thirst that will not be quenched by tepid water. There is something in you that cannot be domesticated, that recoils at the touch of mediocrity, that dreams of fire even as you pull the covers tighter. That is the God you must resurrect, the unkillable, the unteachable, the unconsoled. They will tell you to find your purpose. Purpose is not found, it is forged. It is the answer you write in your own blood, not the question they print in the workbook. Meaning is not a destination, it is a crucifixion. The only meaning is the kind you are willing to suffer for. Comfort is a cannibal. It eats tomorrow's God for today's peace. Do not think yourself compassionate because you do not hurt. Do not think yourself wise because you do not rage. There is more wisdom in one honest scream than in a century of smiles. The universe respects only those who respect themselves enough to risk everything for their becoming. Behold, the world will hate you if you wake. The world will curse you, exile you, declare you insane. So what? Were you born for their applause or your own coronation? The Übermensch does not wait for approval. He creates it with each step that cracks the ice beneath him. What is virtue if not the courage to cut yourself loose from the herd? What is wisdom if not the willingness to contradict every teacher? What is love if not the fire that burns away every crutch? O false prophets, O whisperers of sleep, may your words be ash in the mouths of those who would become gods. There is no salvation in surrender. There is no peace but in the storm. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a volcano to be awakened. If you seek comfort, go to the graveyards. The dead do not suffer. The dead do not yearn. The dead do not become. O children of chaos, remember, to live is to court annihilation, to dance with disaster, to taste the bitter wine of your own limits and spit it out. Your enemy is not death, but the living death of acquiescence. The world is not a question, the world is a dare. What if your pain is not the sign of brokenness, but of pregnancy? What if your unrest is not a flaw, but a compass? What if your anger is not poison, but prophecy? To feel is to remember that you are alive. To ache is to recall that you are not yet finished. You are a work in progress, a myth in the making, a revolution disguised as flesh. He who has a why can bear almost anyhow, but he who is comfortable will never find his why, for comfort is the opiate that makes why unnecessary. O comfort seekers, do you not see? The heavens are empty. The future is unwritten. You are the script and the scribe, the war and the weapon. There is no destiny but what you burn into the bones of time. To become is to betray the animal in you that longs for shelter. To become is to remember that the lion does not ask permission to be feared. If you would become, first you must be destroyed. Destroy your nostalgia. It is the graveyard of possibility. Destroy your ideals. They are the tombs of the ancestors who did not become gods. Destroy your humility. It is the shroud that covers your rage, your hunger, your unspoken thunder. The only prayer worth speaking is, may I never be at peace until I am finished. You fear discomfort as if it is a plague, but it is the mother of all becoming. In the forge of discomfort, the self is burned and reborn. What is joy, if not the laughter that follows the storm? What is freedom, if not the chain you break yourself, grinning, bleeding, exultant? You have worshipped at the wrong altars. You have mistaken anesthesia for meaning, sedation for salvation. It is not comfort that will save you. It is war, war against yourself, against your comfort, against the invisible fence that was built around your will. He who would become must love the flame more than the shadow. Once, there were men who would rather die than be tamed. Once, there were women who would rather burn than be forgotten. Once, there were gods who envied the courage of men and wept at their own impotence. Now, there are only consumers, smiling in their chains, dreaming of a painless apocalypse. But there is another possibility. There is always another possibility. There is the eruption, the revolt, the resurrection. There is the awakening of the inner God, the murder of comfort, the birth of the Übermensch. What will you do, O sleeper, when the fire calls your name? You will not be applauded. You will not be loved. You will not be understood. But you will be alive. More alive than the comforters, more alive than the careful, more alive than those who spend their days preserving a peace that was never theirs. You will know agony, yes, but you will also know ecstasy. You will taste the lightning. You will become your own answer. And when they ask you, trembling, why are you not like us? You will answer, laughing, because I have remembered what you have forgotten. I have chosen the fire over the blanket, the sword over the pillow, the risk over the cage. I have chosen to become, even if it kills me. O trembling one, O rope walker, O living abyss, rise. The world awaits the sound of your chains breaking. Do not settle. Do not rest. Do not seek comfort. Become the fire that consumes the old world and dances among its ashes. For in the end, there is only this: he who chooses comfort dies 1,000 slow deaths. He who chooses becoming dies once but is reborn as a god. You are not here to be consoled. You are here to be consumed. The time for gentle words has passed. The age of anesthetic is over. The sedatives drip from your veins. The sleepwalker's lullabies still ring in your ears, but a new thunder gathers at the edges of your bones. Listen, the universe does not whisper sweet nothings. It howls. Stars are not born in quietude, but in collision, clashing, tearing, igniting. O you who cradle your comforts as though they were children, do you not see? That which you shelter, shelters you in return, imprisoned within a cradle grown too small for your monstrous possibility. You must learn to abhor the tranquil and to loathe the softening hand that pats your head and tells you, you have done enough. Enough? The word itself is a guillotine, cutting your infinity to fit their measure. Enough? The password to the herd, the death mask of the lion, the last sigh of the abyss before it slumbers. In the cathedral of comfort, every prayer is a bribe, every hymn a negotiation with the executioner. And yet, there stands within you a sanctuary without walls, a cathedral lit by the burning of your own illusions, an altar crowned not by peace, but by the holy riot of your most forbidden longing. Who among you remembers the intoxication of longing? Not the petty wants that twitch through your days, but the ancient hunger, the cosmic ache, the longing that shakes mountains and cracks open the old heavens, exposing the bloodshot eye of becoming. When did you last thirst for something you could not name? When did you last break beneath the weight of a desire so colossal it threatened to devour the sky? Let every compromise you have ever made rise before you. Now let them judge you. Let them claw at your sleep. Let them howl until you are raw. You have been too merciful with your failures, too forgiving with your cowardice. O you who worship regret, what have you built from its bones? Regret is the shadow that licks your heels, that wags its tongue and says, stay small, stay safe, stay here. There is no here. There is only the eternal crucifixion of what might have been. He who cannot face his own abyss will drown in the puddle of consensus. You think the world is made of laws, of science, of numbers, but beneath every calculation boils a madness, a yearning, a will that laughs at logic. The universe is not a ledger. It is a fever, dream, a crucible, a spiral of chaos that gave birth to you. Trembling, roaring, unwilling to be tamed. Why then do you demand order, symmetry, the narcotic balm of predictability? The greatest truths are not written, they are screamed. The greatest lives are not measured, they are spent. Every clock you watch is a coffin's heartbeat. Let go. Let your routines fall away like old skin. Let your name be spat out by the old gods. Let your face be a question that terrifies the mirror. O you whose soul is tattooed with expectations, whose eyes have been caged by the gaze of others. How much of your life have you lived on your knees, praying to be invisible, to be small enough not to trouble the fabric of their peace? Damn their peace. Damn the false prophets of tranquility. Damn the narcotics of validation, the shallow waters of belonging. To belong is to vanish. To stand alone is to become a continent. Who dares stand alone? Who dares break the circle, tear the script, howl at the clock until time itself recoils? You were not born for repetition. You were not designed to be reproducible. The print of your soul is the only proof of God the universe ever had, and even that is perishable. Feel the rupture, feel the bone-splitting agony of transformation. The self is not a statue, it is a pyre. You must not polish your flaws, you must immolate them. The pain you fear is the only architect you will ever know. Every scar is a stanza in the poem you are still writing. Every agony a brushstroke on the face of eternity. You want redemption? Earn it in the war against yourself. You want salvation? Forge it in the furnace of your refusal to submit. There is no forgiveness for the untested. There is no resurrection for the comfortable. Let the trembling begin. Let the old wounds break open and spill out the rot of complacency. Let every comfort turn to venom in your veins until you spit it out with a cry that splits the world. For what is a cry, if not the birth canal of truth? O shatterer of chains, do not wait for the world to burn, ignite yourself. In the end, you will be asked not, were you good? Not, were you loved? But, were you awake when the fire came? And you, with ashes in your hair and blood in your mouth, will answer, I am the fire. I am the answer. I am the curse and the cure. I am the God who refused to die for comfort. Let the doors now be torn from their hinges. Let silence be the new heresy. For the hour is come when you must either scream or turn to stone. There are no spectators in this theater. The stage is on fire, and you are both the condemned and the executioner. Every step you take toward comfort is a step away from the savage alchemy that makes gods from dust. O listener, do you hear the shudder of old idols as you approach? The world would rather see you crippled by safety than crowned by solitude. Their gods demand obedience, yours demands eruption. What use is a God who whispers lullabies when the world itself is a battlefield of becoming? The first awakening is always agony. The second is laughter. O soul, you who stagger beneath inherited names and shackles, when did you last choose a risk that no one applauded? When did you last betray the customs that clothed your ancestors in sheep's wool and taught you to bow before a ghost of virtue? Have you not yet seen the only sin is refusal to grow teeth? The only damnation is to rot in the waiting room of other people's approval. Abandon hope. All ye who enter the fire for hope is the opiate of those too afraid to become the storm. What is left when hope dissolves? Power, not over others, but over the wasteland within the ruined cathedrals of doubt, the mausoleums of smallness. The will to power is the only liturgy that does not apologize for your hunger. To seize the self is not arrogance, but the highest gratitude. Gratitude to the chaos that spat you forth and dared you to sing your own Genesis. You have worshipped restraint and called it maturity, adored resignation and named it wisdom. See how the universe laughs at your caution. See how the stars collapse and are reborn. How the lion leaps, though no prey is promised. All life is wager, all becoming is peril. The only certainty is that you will lose yourself again and again, and only those with the heart to welcome loss will ever know the intoxicating taste of victory. It is better to drown in the storm than to drink the stagnant waters of safety. O shadow dweller, O comfort sleeper, when will you claim the terror that is your birthright? The terror that comes not to destroy you, but to reveal the iron in your marrow. You are not here to be preserved. You are here to be spent. Spend yourself, break yourself, cast yourself into the furnace, and see what remains when the dross is burned away. Let mediocrity shudder as you pass. Let the herd howl. The rope walker is always alone above the abyss, and yet he is never more himself than in the moment before the fall. This is your task: to walk the rope, to scorn the net, to know that each heartbeat is the echo of worlds destroyed and worlds yet to be created. You are not a copy, you are an event. The question is not, will you survive, but will you become worth surviving? For what is comfort but the shadow of death pretending to be life? What is conformity but the slowest suicide, the kind that wears a smile and hands you a watch so you can count your own undoing? Tear down your watchtowers, smash your mirrors, spit upon your trophies. You are not your past, not your failures, not the story they wrote for you while you were sleeping. You are the trembling that comes before creation, the raw wound that screams for sky. Your suffering is not a flaw, but the prophecy that the old self is dying. Let it die. Let the corpse rot. Make yourself a feast for the vultures and a hymn for the rising storm. Do not look back. Do not pray for rescue. Do not bargain with your own cowardice. You are the only miracle left. Those who seek to soothe you are the same who would see you silenced. Those who tell you to wait are the same who will bury you in platitudes. The world's greatest blasphemy is the soul that refuses to burn. O untested one, your time is now, there will be no other. Arise, for comfort is the enemy, and you the fire that devours it. There is no retreat from the abyss, only the sacred leap. O son of midnight, daughter of thunder, do you not feel the horizon trembling in your veins? The world is not a prison but a pyre, and your destiny is not to be spared, but to blaze. Let the ashes of your caution dance skyward. Let the winds carry the name you made from your own unmaking. The meek shall inherit the silence. The wild shall write new commandments with blood and laughter. Beneath the skin of every hour, eternity claws and howls, demanding not your comfort, but your metamorphosis. You are not meant to complete yourself, but to tear yourself open, again and again, until only the essential flame remains. To stand unshielded in the storm is to be initiated. To suffer without seeking shelter is to be crowned. To fall and rise, mangled and miraculous, is to confess, I was not made for safety. I was made for the pyre and the stars. O living crucible, there is no map for you, only the song that calls you further. Go where the others have turned back. Swallow the poison of doubt and transmute it into thunder. Let the comfort you once cherished now taste like poison in your mouth. For only those who hunger beyond the walls of this world may break the wheel and dance. You are not the answer, they are all dead. You are not the question, questions rot with time. You are the blow that shatters the circle, the laugh that outlives despair, the echo that calls itself God because nothing else dared to. O last human, O first God, will you not become the hymn that outburns oblivion? Then rise, and let your becoming be a blasphemy. Let every comfort be a curse you spit from your mouth. Let the war within you never end, for only the eternal battle bears children worthy of dawn. Blessed is he who sets himself aflame and dances. Cursed is he who finds his peace before the grave. The world is ash. You are the star that makes new fire. Go, and let your becoming be endless.